Good morning, everyone. I am Dozie Clara, and I'm here to testify to God's goodness in my life. I was born to a family of 9, mother and father, 5 sisters, including me, 6, and a brother. So we are 7 children, and I am the second. This video is not going well, is it? Okay. I am the second, number 2. My parents are both AS. My parents are both AS. So medically, 2 or 3 of us should be SS carriers. But fortunately for us, and the way God planned it, I, Dozie Clara Chidima, am the only one with genotype disorder. Yes. I was the only one out of 7 children with genotype SS. But I dare to say that I am not the usual SS patient. Physically, nobody can tell unless I tell you, or someone from my family tells you. My parents took good care of me, and God's hand has always been in my life. I grew up not knowing what crisis is. I never experienced it growing up, and up till I was 22 years old, God decided to let me experience it, just so I could understand what He has been saving me from. I believe I have medical practitioners here and people who have siblings that are SS, that are sickle cell anemic, and they know how often crisis occurs, and it is the main cause of death for people with this genetic disorder. But here I am telling everyone that I only had this crisis at age 22, which is last year, because I'm 23 years old presently. And the only reason I had this crisis was because God wanted to tell a certain someone who has entered my life of my condition, because I would never have told him myself. All those I have come in contact with in school, church, neighbors, friends, colleagues, I have never told anyone of my genotype status, and nobody has ever figured, because I have enjoyed good health and my body is so good that nobody can tell just by looking at me. So that is my first testimony. Moving on to the main reason for this post. On the 12th of November 2018, that is last week Monday, I woke up with my sisters, Anita Dozie and Chikodi Dozie. We decided to say our prayers together, so we started with praise and worship. As we were singing worship song, my sister Anita was moved by the Holy Spirit to touch me all over my body. I forgot to mention she attended a conference at Ubuluku and encountered the Holy Spirit there. She returned on Sunday prior to Monday morning when we had this prayer. So as she was touching me and speaking in tongues, I kept on singing. After the prayer, I didn't bother to ask why she touched me. I just went about my day. She saw how nonchalant I was about her touching me and said, "Chidima, why are you just sitting there? Don't you know that the Holy Spirit has touched you?" I said, I know now. And yes, I know He removed all the things I've been eating in my dreams. And she laughed and said, "No. Dad, have I forgotten my genotype?" I said, "I have not forgotten my genotype." She said, "Holy Spirit, God has changed your genotype." I laughed, and my other sister, Chikodi, said, "Yes, to AA." I claimed it, and she said, "Don't just sit down there and claim it. Let's start dancing." I said, "Okay, put music now, let's dance." We started dancing. After dancing, I went to have my bath because I was supposed to go to the hospital with my friend Shay, the same person that I had crisis because of last year. Because God wanted me, I showed in my video. Because God wanted to tell him of my condition. He has been having cough and cough, unending cough. So I was like, you have to go to hospital to do a test, just run general test. So that same Monday, I was supposed to follow him to the hospital because he said he's not going if I don't follow him. And while my sisters were busy saying God has changed my genotype, that I should start dancing, I'm like, okay, since I'm going to the hospital with Shay, I can as well do the test. They agreed. So I went to the hospital with him. I went to my usual hospital. I went to my hospital, and we went to the lab. He told the lab technician he wants to check for typhoid, malaria, and then before then he was joking about his genotype changing, not being AA anymore. I'm like, you're joking, right? He said no, his genotype, that he's not sure, that he has never done a test. He has never done genotype test or blood group test, just what his father told him. I'm like, you know what will happen if you end up being AS? Then he was just pulling my legs, I guess so. So when I went to the hospital, I was like, just do the test. Since you said you've not done it before, you've never had the results, just do it, let's see what will happen. So while he was doing a genotype test, a blood group test, typhoid and malaria, I decided, he didn't know that I had the intention of doing a test. I said, okay, I'll also do a genotype test. And he looked at me like, you already know your genotype, so why are you doing a genotype test? I thought I just want to do it. I did not tell him what happened that morning. I didn't tell him that my sister prayed and she said my genotype has changed. I was in doubt myself, but part of me was also believing because I know that God can do it. But I just did not want to tell him in case it doesn't work. So I was like, let me just do the test. If it's the same result, we'll go home like that. We will not suspect anything. So we did the test. That was on Monday, 12th of November. We were asked to come and get the result the next day, Tuesday, 13th. We went in the evening. Yes, as we're entering, we saw my doctor that takes care of me. I was like, hey, Clara, you're here. That his lab technician told him that I came to do a test. I said yes. So he said, hope I'm taking my medicine, hope I'm taking my drugs. I said yes, I'm taking my drugs. My friend even said, she has even stopped taking her medicine. She's been a bad child. Like, I'm taking my medicine, no worry. In my mind, I'm like, if we don't know the result, I'm going to collect. But I didn't say anything to the doctor, and I didn't say anything to him. I was like, let's go and get the results first. So went inside. The guy brought out my results, gave it to me, and gave him his own. I opened my results. Deep down, I was believing in God. I know that God can do something and change this result. But like, is it really possible? I beg, if this is me, I was scared of the outcome. Like, I don't even want it to be AA. I was scared, like, please, I'm just going to faint if it turns to AA. So let me just see my normal usual SS result. And I opened the results. Lo and behold, my brothers and sisters, I said it was AA. I looked at it. Where is my results? Mimi, give my results. I want to bring my results. So you could see that this is no joke. Thomas David. This is my results. Therefore, I hold it for me. Or hold my phone. Hold my phone. This is my results. Is this showing? Dossier Clara. Genotype. AA. So I saw this result. I became dumbfounded. Like, is this for real? Am I dreaming or is it joke? I looked at the guy. I did not want to say anything to him. I just told my friend, let's go. The lab technician was busy explaining to him, you have typhoid, you have to take this. I was like, please, let's go. Let's just go home. We went outside. He was looking at me somehow. I told him, see my results. He opened my result and saw it. He was like, what's the meaning of this? That I should explain. I don't know how to start explaining. It's like, he fell on the floor, he knelt down, he was looking at my result. I was like, what is the meaning of this? Please explain. He was begging me to explain. And Clara Dozie was speechless. I didn't even know I didn't even know where to start from. So I'll have to do this again. No. And then I told him everything that happened that morning. That was, yes, on Monday morning. He did not believe it. I did not believe it. He did not believe it. We sat down in the car. He was unable to move the car. I'm like, let's go home. He said he can't drive. I called Anita. On the phone and I was like, Anita, guess what my result is? She said what? I said AA. She screamed and I didn't even hear what she said the next time. I just ended the call. She was jumping up on me. I was blank. I wasn't feeling happy. I wasn't sad. I did not know what to feel. I was just there looking at the results. After like 30 minutes or an hour, he got himself and he was able to drive. I said, okay, let's go home. We came home. My sisters were rejoicing. They already called everybody. They called my dad, called my mom, screaming. My dad did not believe. That one is a doubting Thomas. He did not believe it. So he said we should go and do another test. Everybody was saying, go do another test, go do another test. That very day, I went to the church with this result and I gave testimony. I did not give the testimony. My sister did. Because she's a charismatic member, so she gave the testimony there. People were touching me. I tapped from your testimony. I tapped from my test. I was just there, like I started crying. That was the only time. That was the time I cried because I did not even understand. And then I said, okay, the next day I'll go and do another test. Bring the other results. So I went to a different lab. I did not go to my hospital this time around. I went to a lab in Wuse 2, Barnes Plaza. And I did a genotype test. And this is the result. Two different hospitals. This is Celeb Medical Laboratory. It came out the same. That was when all the doubting Thomasists accepted, especially my dad. Brothers and sisters, this used to be my report. This is from Imo State University. When you get an admission, you will do a test, a medical report. This used to be my report to declare SS. But today, God has changed it to this. God has changed it to this. And yeah, this is 1 week now. It took me 1 week to finally accept this and adjust to my new condition. I'm giving this testimony because I don't even know how to thank God. I don't even know where to start from. I have never prayed for this to happen. I've never asked God to change my genotype. I know that God's hand has always been in my life and my life has always been a living testimony. Because I am not the usual SS. Nobody knows unless I tell you. Yes. All my friends, I'm sure they will see this video too and they will be surprised because they've lived with me but they never suspected because they never know. It never shows in my body. So I never expected that God would go this extent for me. That He would change my life to this point and change my status. And I'm praying for those also, for anybody who is believing in God for a testimony, that listening to my own and seeing the extent God can go for His children, that you will also receive your own testimony. And I know that there's so many doubting Thomases. Some people will still doubt. If you're in doubt, come and meet me. I will allow you to take blood from my body and go and do a test and come and show me the results. Thank you.